Ostaș, Vordon, treceți prutul, zdrobiți vrăjmașul din răsărit și miază noapte. These historic words are part of a declaration by the Romanian World War II leader Marshal Antonescu, as he ordered his army to invade the Soviet Union and recapture Romanian territories that were annexed by Stalin. It is an extremely troubled chapter in history because Romania's invasion was part of Operation Barbarossa, the German-led campaign against the USSR. But the topic of this video has nothing to do with any of that. I am here to talk about cardinal directions. Among the many archaic and poetic terms in Antonescu's declaration, one finds peculiar words for the directions east and north, răsărit and miază noapte, literally meaning sunrise and midnight. Ever since I first discovered these words many years ago, I've been thinking about the linguistic origins and cultural significance of the cardinal directions, and I would like to share some of those thoughts here while looking at a number of different languages. In most European languages, the etymology of the cardinal directions north, east, south, and west is connected to the sun. For example, the Germanic term east, oost, etc. comes from the Proto-Indo-European word for rise, as the east is the direction where the sun rises, and is also related to the word Easter, the celebration of the beginning of spring, and Eostre, the goddess of spring. Almost everybody in the world knows at least one Slavic cardinal direction without being aware of it, because almost everybody has heard the word Yugoslavia, meaning South Slavia or land of the South Slavs. Like in Germanic, most of the words for the directions used in the Slavic languages have an etymological connection to the sun or the time of the day. The directions in the main language of ex-Yugoslavia, Serbo-Croatian, strongly resemble those in most other Slavic languages. Sever, Istok, Jug, Zapad. Albanian might have borrowed the Slavic term for south, Jugu, while its term for north, Veriu, suggests a connection to both Greek and Latin, which I will discuss shortly. Even more interesting is east, Lindje, which means birth, and Perendim, west, which in turn is derived from the verb perendoi, to fall, to set, or to pass. Greek vorios sounds somewhat similar to the Albanian word, as mentioned, while east, Anatoli, is the origin of the name for the region of Anatolia, east of mainland Greece, which makes up most of present-day Turkey. The usual cardinal directions in the Romance languages are actually of Germanic origin, and were adopted after the fall of the Western Roman Empire. However, the original Latin ones, used by the Romans, still sound familiar today. Borealis, Orientalis, Australis, Occidentalis. North and South each also had an alternative, respectively Septentrionalis, referring to the constellation Seven Oxen in the north, and Meridionalis, derived from midday, again the position of the sun in the middle of the day, at least for those of us who live in the northern hemisphere. As for Orient and Occident, we often encounter these today, in Romance languages as well as in some Germanic languages like English, not just when referring to geographical directions or regions per se, but more often to the people and cultures inhabiting those regions. Here, we have touched upon another, and to me, the most interesting aspect of the cardinal directions, their cultural meaning. People often speak of something or someone being typical northern, eastern, southern, or western, not just globally, but also on each continent and internally, between different regions and provinces, in almost every country on the planet. Southern charm, eastern mysticism, northern quietude, etc. The West can mean a turn you take while driving, but it can also mean a civilization with thousands of years of history, all summed up in that simple word. The same counts for its synonym, Occident, and in a number of Germanic languages, Abendland, Avondland, evening land, which again reveals a clear relation to the sun, which sets in the west. Returning now to Romanian, we can see a lot of the different forms of the cardinal directions and adjectives derived from them, discussed until now, coming together in one language. The usual forms are Nord, Est, Sud, West, thus the forms that are originally derived from Germanic, and in this case entered the Romanian language via French. But then there are also the Latin-derived versions, likewise borrowed from French. As adjectives, there is Nordic, Boreal, and Septentrional. Then there's Orient, Oriental, Sudic, Austral, Meridional, again as adjectives, and of course Occident, Occidental. Finally, there are also native forms, two of which I started this video with. They are, clockwise, Miază noapte, Răsărit, Miază zi, Apus, literally meaning midnight, sunrise, midday, sunset. Of these forms, only east and west can be made into adjectives, apusean and răsăritan. Lumea apuseană, munții apuseni, cultură răsăritană, despotism răsăritan. The other two get a preposition, clima de miază zi or clima de miază noapte. The term a northern country in Romanian can therefore be expressed in four distinct ways. O țară nordică, o țară boreală, o țară septentrională, o țară de miază noapte. The fascinating aspect of the latter, belonging to the native terms for the directions, is its literalness. These native directions are not just derived from the times of the day or the position of the sun, they literally mean those things. And while in Romanian these forms are slightly archaic and used alongside the other forms, there are some European languages where the literal forms are the only official ones. Polish and Ukrainian, for example, diverge from the usual Slavic terms, and it is with the cardinal directions in the latter language, Ukrainian, that I will end this presentation. Pivnic, Schid, Pivden, Zahid. Thanks for watching. Haide, ciao.